Hey guys, I'm
Hello.
Shaman. Yolanda.
Hi.
Alejandra.
I was gonna say it.
Oh.
It's alright.
She beat you to it.
Hi, Alejandra.
He gave like a really big pause.
He always
Well,
does.
because
It's like
you're the-
dramatic
Because
flair.
you're the dramatic one. You're the whole reason we're here today, talking about the work that you do.
You're the expert.
You're the expert.
He's being dramatic.
Yes. You're just noticing this?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're talking about dramatic pause,
Infidelity.
infidelity.
Here. So, we are dating ourselves. You and I, Shaman Harper and Yolanda Harper, are dating ourselves.
Not her.
Not Alejandra. Because we were like, like the movie Groundhog Day.
Right.
And Alejandra was like, well, groundhog is an animal. I know that.
Yeah, I was confused.
Yeah, well, and we don't blame you because it's a really old movie. But if you're unaware,
Is it that old?
it is really that old. Look it up. It's the movie where, Bill Murray
Keeps repeating the same
it's
day.
the same day
and
over and over and over and over again. And we've talked about the loop of like infidelity when
Right.
couples are trying to recover from that. And without help, it is that same loop over and over. Like not a good thing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's just exhausting and draining.
Exhausting and draining.
Like a lot of
Pause.
energy gets
Pause.
put about dramatic pause. See, now you guys appreciate the dramatic pause all of a sudden after
Yeah.
making fun of me about it.
Yeah. But we have an alternative way that can lead to your relationship 2.0.
Yes, feeling better. And we touched a little bit on in the last video that it takes for you to want to change and for you to feel you are motivated to make this work for the relationship to work. So
Right.
kind of what can I do for this relationship instead of what this relationship is doing for me, right? So it's like a process of self-discovery and figure out what I want and what I need, which is also not easy because I don't think we usually ask ourselves, what do I want?
Well, especially when we kind of framed this whole thing in the beginning was like a couple comes in, two people, and they're like, fix him or fix her, just and
Fix
now
my
all of a
partner.
sudden, fix
Yeah.
my partner,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden they're learning. Wait, you mean we both have our own work we have to do here to make this work?
Yeah.
And it's not fix them, fix her. It's okay. How do I fix me?
How do I better understand
How do
myself?
I better understand myself?
Yeah.
And then how does that play out in the context of our relationship?
Yeah.
And how does that affect all this? And now where do we go from here? Right.
And I would say, infidelity or not, that's a big portion of couples work anyway. And you and I have been in a relationship for 30 plus years, which is why we understand the reference of Groundhog Day. And the more that we have grown individually, the more that we've been able to bring that
Right.
to our relationship. So, yeah.
And what I see a lot of happening is just a lot of these couples have been in a relationship for so long, and there's so many things that happen that they lose themselves. They don't
Right.
even know who they are or what they do for fun, but they still want to be in a relationship to be happy. But if you don't know what makes you happy or what you really want or what can your partner actually do to help you, what can you do to help them, then how can you expect the relationship to work if
Right.
you have no idea where you stand?
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah. And so that takes a lot of self-discoveries, and it's sometimes painful because you have to admit things that you don't want to admit about yourself.
Right.
But that's the great thing about doing it in a safe space where we're all together, because it's not that we are going to shame you or judge you, but we're going to take that kind of weakness that you see or that thing that you're like, oh, I didn't know about this, I didn't want to admit this, and we can make it a strength. So how can you change that? How can you tweak it that it works for you and it works for your partner?
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. And we talked about the patterns in the relationship, and part of owning our own part of that is like, I bring that pattern from somewhere, right? So how can I adjust my side of the pattern so that it's not as diabolical or combustive?
Yes, and it can be simple things. Sometimes I have asked people, okay, but what do you think do you need from him to feel better? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like,
I
but
don't
you
know.
expect him
But
to know?
fix
okay?
it, right?
Yeah, so you want them to do something, but you don't know what you want them to do.
Yeah, you want to feel better, which is totally understandable,
Yes.
but you don't know what to ask for.
Right.
And nobody in the room is a mind reader.
Yeah,
None
and
of us read minds.
And that's where
I
like
try.
working in your communication helps.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really good step. Doing my own work, but putting it into the relationship. So how do I communicate that, right? So you can expect your partner to read your mind, because it's really hard for them to figure out what you want if you don't even know what you want. But once you have a clear idea, you can like just let them know, and then you can avoid fights about it. You can avoid feeling like he doesn't understand, or he doesn't care, or she is just nagging me all the time. Like you can avoid all of that by just telling, this is what I want and what I need.
Yeah. And you know what's really amazing is that this individual work happens in the couple sessions,
Right.
and you're witnessing each other. Like you're having your own experience, you're witnessing your partner doing it, and that is, it gives me goosebumps. That's what forms relationship 2.0.
Right.
And that's
what builds that new connection.
deepens
that
the
new bond.
connection, right?
Yeah.
Is learning how to do that
Yeah.
with each other.
It does. You see your partner in a way you never seen them before. They're so
Absolutely.
vulnerable and open, and you're like, I didn't know that was what's going on.
Right.
Like it makes so much sense now. Like it clicks. Like I can actually have empathy now, and now we can actually work towards it together. So
Instead
like,
of just thinking my partner's a jerk, or
Right.
my partner's controlling, or
Right.
yeah.
yeah,
Good stuff. All right.
yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.